what else do I need to know in subdividing?
Well, in subdividing, we need to know whether there's municipal utilities in there in terms of water and sewer. And on your drawing that you show me, the sketch, it shows that there's a well.
Right.
So I want to check our records and see if there's municipal water on the street. And this also leads me to believe that you have probably a septic system.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Well, my drawing shows me it's a cesspool. So
Yeah. It's a little old, came with a house.
it sounds to me that we're talking about sewer usage. Since there is no sewer, you're going to need to get a septic system design and permit from the Board of Health. And you'll need to go to the Board of Health office at a later date with a plan and get their approval for a septic system permit.
Okay, you're talking about a septic system for this
For the
potential
new
new
lot,
house?
for the
Okay,
potential
but
new
not
house.
for my house.
No, because as long as you meet Title V,
Yes, I do.
you should be fine.
Yep. Okay. Is there anything else now before I leave that I need to make sure that I do?
Well, Ms. Putnam, the next thing you need to do is that you have some background information. You need to hire a surveyor. Because the sketch that you provide me, although it's a nice sketch, is not an engineered drawing. An engineered drawing by a surveyor looks more like what I'm showing you here. It has a stamp by a surveyor. It shows various meets and bounds and bearings, tell me the dimensions and the locations of the lot. And that individual also will have to place the existing buildings along with the proposed building on the plan at some point, along with the proposed property line and other information such as the wetlands and streams that is important for the plan. And when you come back from that and have that plan ready, we get the planning board to sign it and we hand it back to you.
Do I have to come to a planning board meeting?
We will suggest that you do that, and if people have a lot of questions to ask, and it's an opportunity to tell people what you're planning to do on the property.
Okay, will I need to have any of these experts or these people that I've hired to come along in case?
Well, if there's a wetland on the land, you may want the wetlands expert there just to explain where the wetland areas are, and possibly, and more likely needing the land surveyor to show you where the land is, how it's going to be subdivided.
Okay. All right. Anything else that you can think of?
Well, come back with that plan, we'll get it signed, and then we can go from there.
All right, fine. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Hi, how are
Ms.
you?
Putnam, you're back.
Yes, I am. And now I brought this back for you. I hope this is what I've gone to all sorts of places and all sorts of people, and that's what I've come up with.
Well, this is a plan from a surveyor. It shows the building. He shows that he's carving out a lot for a new property, for the house.
Good.
This is pretty good, very good. I'm going to get this plan signed, and as soon as I get it signed, I'm going to give it back to you.
Okay.
And that way you can go from there to start getting other necessary permits that you'll need for the building permit.
All right. All right. And you had said something about the planning board meeting, so
And I'm going to invite you to that planning board meeting, which will be in roughly 2 weeks. I have
Okay.
to have it signed within 21 days of today.
okay.
And I will get it signed, and when we get it signed, we will contact you and give it back to you.
All right. Terrific. And that's it?
That's it.
Okay. Thank you so very, very much for all your help.
Well, Mark, we had earlier today a woman by the name of Mrs. Charlotte Putnam, and she has interest in a piece of property that is off of the street called Pitt Street in Ashland. And right now it's several acres, and she has an existing house on it with existing cesspool and a well right now. And she's going to split the lot off, and because there's no sewer in the area that I'm aware of, and there may not even be water, what can she do to get those utilities through the Board of Health for the rest of her property for one house?
Well, thank you, and we're always available to help Ms. Putnam on Pitt Street or anyone that would need to put in a new house or looking at any new subdivision if they do not have municipal water or municipal sewer. The first step, obviously, is to make sure that they have soils that are permeable and that a drain field, which we call the septic system leaching field, can be placed at. So what we would ask is that they come in and apply for soil testing, and that involves a fee and an application as well as review by the conservation agent. They submit with that a plan. The plan would show that there's no environmentally sensitive areas such as other abutting wells, such as any other septic systems and so forth, and wetlands and drainage, to make sure wherever they're planning to do the soil testing that it would be in an appropriate location before they go out. Once they're done with that, the engineer will take that data, and the engineer will place that data on a plan and submit it back to us for review for a septic system approval. And also, if they do not have municipal water, they'll locate a well on that plan. As soon as they do that, they submit that with the fee application, plans, and our department will review it. We review it to make sure all distance requirements are being met, and they meet both state and local codes called Title V at the state level, and we have local regulations for the town, septic system codes, as well as well regulations. We approve the plan after we know it meets all those codes, and the person then goes out and they drill the well. They need to drill the well. That's an important factor, because when they drill the well, they're going to prove potable water. Our building inspector would need to know that. He cannot issue a building permit until they have potable water. So they will drill the well, and then they will test it for quantity and quality. They hire a licensed well driller, and that person will go out drill, and then they call us to do what they call a quantity test. It's a 4-hour pump test, and then they also draw water samples off that well, and they make sure it meets our local requirements as well as state requirements. Once that is done, a building permit can come in with the building plans. We overview the building plans to make sure it matches the amount of rooms that they're allowed by the septic system design plan that we approved, that I mentioned just previously. They go ahead, if that's all approved by both our department and other various departments, including our building inspector, then the permit would be issued, and we would then be involved with the septic system construction and the finalization of that and the grading. Once the house and the septic system are built, they're almost done. They would do one more test at the tap. That's at the water tap, might it be at the kitchen faucet or a bathroom faucet, to make sure the water that was piped into the house is as safe and as good as it was at the well, that it meets all the codes. Once that tap test is done, we would sign off both the permit for the well, if they have a well, and the permit for the certificates of compliance for the well and for the septic system. There's a lot to know, and what we'd like to do at the very end of the process is make sure they know how to maintain their septic system. We have plenty of guides at the Board of Health, how to maintain your septic system, as well as we have another guide on how to maintain your well. So that anyone can obtain anytime they wish to make sure that they have a good caring situation for both the well and the septic system. And we're more than willing, and they're more than welcome to visit us to ask any questions, and we'd be glad to give them more or less the procedures that we mentioned and help in any way. And we have an assistant. Our assistant's Diane Mortensen. My name is Mark Oram, and we're here to serve you, and please give us a call if you need any help.